Hello children, how are you all today? I hope each one of you are utilizing this period of time creatively, usefully and productively. This is also a good period of time to pursue your hobbies. I know you all are very excited to learn a new chapter in mathematics. So today we are going to take up the chapter Roman numerals. My dear children, Roman numerals are a method of writing numbers that date back as far as 800 before Christ. A method was required for counting quantities larger than, say, what we can count on our hands. Do you know? Roman numbers take 7 letters and work them into a multitude of combinations to create small and large numbers. Isn't it fascinating to know that we still use a number system that possibly dates back as far as 800 BC? So, let's get going and start learning more about Roman numerals. Roman numerals are formed by using the following 7 symbols of the English alphabet: I, V, X, L, C, D and M. I stands for 1, whereas the value for V is 5. The value for X is 10. The value for L is 50. The value for C, which also stands for century, is 100. The value for D is 500, and M stands for millennium, whose value is 1000. There are certain rules which are there for writing Roman numerals. Rule 1. When certain Roman numerals are repeated, the number represented by them is their sum. For example, to see in I is equal to 1, 1, whose sum is 2. Now please recall back, I stands for 1. The value for I is 1. Therefore I means 1 plus 1. So the sum becomes 2. Again, I is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 3. Also, X stands for 10. So X becomes 10 plus 10, whose sum is 20. Now let me repeat the rule again. Rule 1 says, when certain Roman numerals are repeated, the number represented by them is their sum. Children, please note, no Roman numerals can come together more than 3 times. I repeat, Roman numerals should not come together more than 3 times. So it is wrong to write 4 as I and 40 as X. Therefore, it should be very clear to you, no Roman numerals can come together more than 3 times. Note B. Certain Roman numerals like V, L and D are never repeated. So, children, you should not repeat the letters V, L and D. If you want to remember and keep in mind which are the Roman numerals that should not be repeated, we have to remember the sentence which is coming up in the next slide. Look at this sentence, children. Look at the acronym which has been made to make your work easy so that you can remember which are the Roman numerals that should never be repeated. Look at this acronym VLD and the sentence which goes along. VLD stands for a very beautiful acronym which states very lazy dog. Now if you remember this sentence, very lazy dog, you will know that V, L and D, the beginning letters of these words. Now these are the Roman letters which should never be repeated. Therefore, the Roman numerals V, L and D should never be repeated. Keep this in mind. Look at this word medical and another word Xavier. Medical Xavier. Isn't it very interesting, children? Now you must be wondering why Sir has given us this word medical Xavier. But if you look at the letters which are highlighted, now these letters are the Roman numerals. So in the word medical, M relates to the value of the Roman numeral M, which is equal to 1000. D has got 500 assigned to it. The value of C is 100. The value of L is 50. You remember that X value is 10. Value assigned to V is 5. And the value assigned for I is 1. So if you remember the word medical Xavier, you can recall which are those 7 numerals, 7 Roman numerals whose value we have to learn. Now let us go to the next slide to get another interesting word and a sentence so that you'll remember which are the Roman numerals assigned and the value given alongside. Now there's another one for you, children. Let us read this sentence. My dear cat loves extra vitamins intensely. I repeat, my dear cat loves extra vitamins intensively. So if you look at the word my, the letter M. M is a Roman numeral whose value is 1000. The word dear, D, stands for another Roman numeral whose value is 500, and so on. Like C is for 100, L is for 50, X is for 10, the value for V is 5, and the value of I is 1. So if you remember this sentence, you can also remember which are the Roman numerals whose values are there. So altogether we use 7 Roman numerals to assign the value. Now this sentence which is written, you will notice one more thing, that the values are arranged in decreasing order. So from 1000 right up, we go down to 1. So M 1000, and right down we see I, whose value is 1. I hope the previous slide was exciting, and as exciting as the previous slide is the present slide. Now this is also another way you can remember the values. You can also, to be very clear, Remember which are the letters, which are the 7 letters who has been assigned the values in Roman numerals. So if you remember this sentence, I value xylophones like cows do milk. I repeat, I value xylophones like cows do milk. Now if you look at the values assigned, again, now this is in the increasing order. I got a value of 1, V's got a value of 5, X has got a value of 10, L has got a value of 50, C's got a value of 100, D's got a value of 500, and M stands for 1000. I hope I have made things exciting and interesting for you so that you can remember the values assigned to the 7 different Roman numerals. Now let's go to the next slide. Rule 2. When a Roman numeral is placed after another of greater value, the value of the resulting numeral is equal to the sum of the numerals. Now, please stress on this part of the sentence. Placed after another of greater value, then the resulting numeral is equal to the sum of the numerals. So if you look at the examples, V is of a greater value, I is of a smaller value. So when a Roman numeral is placed after another of greater value, the value of the resulting numeral is equal to the sum of the numerals. Hence, we have VII equal to 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, whose sum is 8. In the same way, the next one, the next example, XV, X is of greater value, V is of smaller value. So XV stands for 10 plus 5, whose sum is 15. Now look at the last one, LV. L is for 50, V is for 5. So LV becomes 50 plus 5, 55. Rule 3. When a Roman numeral is placed before another of greater value, now look what I am saying, not after, I am saying before another of greater value, the value of the resulting numeral is equal to the difference of the numerals. Difference. So, if you look at the example, the first example, IV. I is of a smaller value, V is of a greater value. That means when a Roman numeral is placed before another of greater value here is V, I is of smaller value, so we have to find the difference. So if it is IV, then it becomes 5 minus 1, because difference means to subtract. Difference means to subtract. So 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. IX becomes 10 minus 1, which is equal to 9. XL, in this, L is of greater value, X is of smaller value, X is before L of a greater value Roman numeral, therefore the answer will be the difference. 50 minus 10 is equal to 40. Now let us go to the next rule. Children, please note once more, a Roman numeral of smaller value can be placed before another of greater value only once. Only once. Only once. A Roman numeral of smaller value can be placed before another of greater value only once. That means, if you take the Roman number IV, now I is a Roman number of a smaller value and V is a Roman numeral of a greater value. So IV is actually 4. So if you think that you can write IV or we, that will be absolutely wrong because it doesn't go according to the rule. So please remember, we cannot repeat the Roman number or smaller value before another of greater value, because the rule very clearly says a Roman numeral or smaller value can be placed before another of greater value only once. To understand more, let us take some examples and go to the next one. Rule 4. When a Roman numeral of smaller value is put between two numerals of greater value, it is subtracted from the numeral on its right. If you look at the example xiv, in xiv, the Roman numeral xiv, you see that I is a Roman numeral of smaller value, which has been placed in between two Roman numerals of greater value. So, in that case, what you must do? You must subtract the value of the Roman numeral having smaller value from the numeral on its right. So, the answer for xiv will be 10 plus 5 minus 1. So the value becomes 14. Now look at the last one, liv. L stands for 50, V stands for 5, and the Roman numeral between 50 and 5 is 1. Therefore, to get the correct answer, you put 5 minus 1 in brackets. So the answer will be 50 plus bracket 5 minus 1 close bracket is equal to 54. Children, we have already learnt all the rules regarding computation, that is calculation about Roman numerals. Now remember something very interesting and very valuable. A. Roman numerals do not follow the place value system. B. There is no Roman numeral for 0. Now don't start looking out for a Roman numeral whose value is 0, because there is no Roman numeral for 0. Children, there are some more examples for you. Look at these Hindu Arabic numbers: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. Look how they have been written in the Roman numeral. 10 is equal to x, 20 is written as xx, 30 is written as xxx, 40 is written as xl, 50 is written as L, 60 is written as LX, 70 is written as LXX, the value for 80 is LXXX, the value for 90 is XC, and the value for 100 is C. Look at the next one. Numbers in between the Roman numerals are written by putting I or II or III or IV, V, VI, VII, VIII, IX to the right. Look at the examples. Now let us take the Hindu Arabic number 42. See how it is written in the Roman numeral form. So 42 is equal to 40 plus 2. So it means 40's value is XL, value of 2 is II. So it becomes XLII. Let us go down and see the last example, 91. 91 is a Hindu Arabic number. Now the Roman numeral for 90 is XC, and the Roman numeral for 1 is I. So 91 becomes 90 plus 1. So the Roman numeral for 91 is XCI. Using the above rules, 1 to 100 in Roman numerals are written down and illustrated very beautifully for you. Now your work is to go down and go through all the Roman numerals and learn the values. That will be good for you. Children, I'm happy for you that you've learned so many good things in this new chapter, Roman numerals. Thank you for watching this PowerPoint presentation on the chapter Roman numerals, and I wish you good luck.